Top stories tonight. DSS police orders take over Cross River Assembly after Speaker Ayambem's impeachment. Abba Kyari gets bail after 27 months in detention. Court grants Shaibu's request to join Edo Speaker, new Deputy Governor in impeachment suit. Guinea prosecutors demand life imprisonment for ex-dictator Moussa Dadis. Thank you for joining us. I'm Felicity Ezewike. Our coverage tonight begins with the story that the embattled Speaker of the Cross River State House of Assembly, Elvert Ayambem, has stated that he remains the Assembly Speaker despite being impeached by 17 members who had already signed a notice of his impeachment. The motion for his removal was moved on the floor of the House by the member representing Calabar South 1, Effiong Ekarika, and seconded by Charles Omang. However, he describes the process as unlawful in a statement released on Wednesday by his Chief Press Secretary, Matthew Okache. Okache said that Akarika, the person who proposed Ayambem's impeachment, had disturbed the meeting by inviting hoodlums to enter the chamber. Meanwhile, officials of the Department of State Services, the Dragon Squad, and personnel of the Nigerian police have taken over the complex of the Cross River State Assembly. This was following the impeachment of the Assembly Speaker, Elvert Ayambem. Ayambem was impeached over alleged gross misconduct and financial misappropriation. The plot to remove the Speaker has been on for some months, as members have been expressing displeasure with his conduct and operations of the Assembly. As of Tuesday, over 20 members had signed up for his impeachment, and a motion for his removal was moved on the floor of the House by the member representing Calabar South 1, Effiong Ekarika, and seconded by Charles Omang. Let's step a little away from that and bring you court matters. A federal high court in Abuja has granted the former commander of the Force Intelligence Response Team, DSP Abba Kyari, 2 weeks bail after 27 months in detention. Kyari is expected to conclude his mother's, Yachila Kyari's, burial rites. The court subsequently set Friday, May 31, for the determination of his bail application in the trial over drug-related charges filed by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency following his arrest over 2 years ago on February 14, 2022. Recall that the mother died in the early hours of Sunday, May 5, 2024, and was survived by 10 children, including Abba, who is the eldest son. While Abba Kyari was not able to attend his mother's burial, residents of Borno State turned out in large numbers to pay their respect. Yachila, who was buried according to Islamic rites the same day. To discuss this further, I'm joined by legal practitioner Tunji Abdulhamid. Tunji, thank you for joining us on tonight. Some have described the court's ruling as an unprecedented move, a temporary bill. Some are saying freedom for 2 weeks on compassionate grounds. Could you explain maybe the provisions of the law that allows this?
I think it's not new in our system. It's like somebody who's on trial and is asking for a bail to go for medical. It's similar to that. So it's not a new procedure in our system. In fact, I'm aware that about 2 or so people who are in custody have been granted similar bail to go and attend a burial of their lost one, maybe a father or mother. I can't remember, but it has happened before. So it's not new in our system. You see, bail is to ensure that you appear in court. You are not supposed to be detained permanently in custody. You are only not released because the court is not sure that you will come back to court or attend to your trial. That's why sometimes bails are denied. So if the court is satisfied that granting you bail, you will still come back to attend to your cases, the court will leave you. But if the court feels that, look, there are risks in granting you bail, they may not. So in this circumstance, probably the court has weighed into it, has looked at the issue on grant, and they realized that probably this man is not a risk. Because you will recall that when there was jailbreak, he was there and he had the opportunity to escape. He decided not to escape. He was there. So probably the court has put that into consideration as well, that this man may not be a risk.
Yeah, some will chalk that more to common sense than anything else. If he was to have engaged in running off after there was a situation at the jail. But that's an aside. Considering who he was, I mean, what he represented and the gravity of the crime he is accused of, was the judge's decision justifiable or fair in your view?
Yeah, you see, by our law, like I said, except a case of murder where you kill somebody, that is the only case that you are ordinarily not entitled to bail. In any other case or cases, except that murder and treason, most probably, yeah, the court may not grant you bail. And in some cases too, bail are granted in those two cases that are not bailable. The offense he has committed is a bailable offense. I don't even know why it's not granted bail, because his offense is bailable under our law. In other words, the offense, once you can meet the conditions set up by the court, you are allowed to go. The bail is granted at the discretion of the court. The court determines when to give you and not what to give you. The law allows the court to give you bail in the case of the offense he committed. It's a drug trafficking offense. It's not a murder case. And by our law, it's entitled to bail.
All right, let's look at the conditions for his bail. His counsel is to stand as surety and is also to deposit a copy of his call to bar certificate to the deputy registrar of the court. You seem to have some satisfaction with the court's decision that they have x-rayed the fact that he might not jump bail. But there is still that tiny possibility. You also alluded to that when you talked about him not running away when there was a situation at the jail where he was. But what happens to the lawyer's documents in the event that Kyari somehow absconds?
What happens is that the lawyer will lose his certificate to the court. He will forfeit it to the court. That means he has no certificate to practice again. A lawyer will not stand for a criminal that is not sure that he will not jump bail. So the lawyer must have weighed the situation and realize and know that, look, this man will not jump bail, and that way he will be able to risk. It's not proper for a lawyer. Also, it's not advisable for a lawyer to stand there as a surety, because it's a very big risk. Because once the man escapes, you'll be in trouble. You'll be dragged into it. So probably the lawyer has weighed the situation on ground, and he has realized that he has a client that will not escape or try to run or jump bail.
All right, we're still talking bail.
Like I said again, there's nothing new in what has happened, and it's not against the law. The law allows for it. The granting bail or not granting bail is at the discretion of the court.
Okay, I guess the only thing left to ask you is the coming consideration of the application that's been fixed for May 31 to whether to release him on bail for the pending determination of the charges that were leveled against him. Based on the compassionate grounds that have already been granted, do you consider the court might grant him his request?
I don't know what is before the court. I don't want to preempt the decision of the court. There are papers that have been filed. I'm very sure maybe it's been opposed. So it depends on the fact before the court. If the court is satisfied looking at the document before it that he will not jump bail and they can guarantee his appearance anytime in court, the court will leave him. The court is not to detain you perpetually. What they want to just be sure that you'll be available to attend to your case. So if the court is satisfied that he will not run away, he will attend to his case, the court may likely grant him bail.
All right, Tunji, it's always a pleasure to have you on the news. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Let's move over now to Edo State, where Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja has granted permission to the impeached Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shoibu, to join the Speaker of the State House of Assembly in his suit challenging his impeachment before the court. The judge also granted order to the former deputy governor to join his successor as a defendant in the suit. Justice Omotosho dismissed the objections raised against the motion on notice by the speaker and the deputy governor for being frivolous and without merit. He subsequently invoked Order 17, Rule 1 of the Federal High Court and ordered that the speaker and the deputy governor be joined in the suit. Nigeria's federal government says that the May 29th anniversary celebration will be marked low-key by the government. This was during a world press briefing in the nation's capital, Abuja, where the Secretary to the Government of the Federation expressed commitment of President Bola Tinubu to tackling the challenges affecting citizens. Amadine Uyi reports.
In attendance were senior officials from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and some cabinet ministers. The World Press Briefing was expected to highlight several key plans for the first year anniversary of the current government, among several issues.
This press briefing is actually designed to set the tone for the sectoral briefings that we are going to be having from tomorrow. Initially, we wanted to have them happen today, but we have now realigned them for better efficiency.
This event is purposed to render accountability to Nigerians by promoting the accomplishments of the present administration in its first year in office and to reassure our citizens that government shall remain focused and committed to the implementation of the renewed hope agenda for positive impact on the socio-economic life of Nigerians.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation says that the last few months has shown the commitment of the President to meeting the yearnings of citizens.
The first year in office of the President has been testimony of sorts and goes to show the unwavering commitment and resilience of this administration towards serving the Nigerian people with diligence, integrity, and dedication.
He says that despite challenges met on ground, President Bola Tinubu is working round the clock to tackle the challenges.
Despite the daunting challenges from all angles, President Tinubu has maintained his calm and demonstrated exemplary leadership qualities, thereby guiding our nation with vision and foresight.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation also revealed that the celebration will be marked low-key.
Consistent again with the general principle and the policy of the President, President Bola Tinubu, the anniversary, that the one-year anniversary body is going to be one that is low-key, and that is why emphasis is going to be placed only on sectoral briefings.
In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
Senate at Wednesday's plenary urged the federal government to make provision for a special intervention fund for maintenance of transmission lines in the country. For over a month, the northeastern region has been in total darkness due to destroyed key towers of the power line along the Jos-Gombe route. The Senate's resolution was sequel to a motion on the urgent needs to address the vandalization of transmission lines of the Transmission Company of Nigeria in the Northeast Zone, sponsored by Senator Manu Haruna and 14 other lawmakers from the zone.
I want us to go beyond restoration of electricity supply in the Northeast. We should find out the culprits, those that are responsible for the vandalization of the power line. It is considered as economic sabotage for people to go and destroy government properties, whether it is electricity power towers or rail lines, roads, infrastructure generally. And Mr. President, even if these people are caught within a very short period of time, we find them to be set free. So, to me, we are not serious as a nation. Those that are responsible for this should be punished.
Sympathize with the people of Northeast for lack of electricity for more than a month, which speaks volume of negativity in every facet of our livelihood today. But this issue, because of the importance of power in contemporary world, shouldn't be only confined or limited to Northeast. It is a general problem. And so really and truly today, without electricity, you virtually can achieve nothing.
The Town Hall series by News Central focused on highlighting and uncovering stories in Nigeria and outside the country is intensifying yet another story. Earlier today, News Central hosted a town hall meeting in Okwama Community, Delta State, Nigeria, to address the devastating March 2024 incident. News Central's Chidimma Ona compiled this report.
Okwama, Delta State on March 14 continued to cast a long shadow. What began as a peacemaking mission by the Nigerian army in a land dispute turned into a deadly clash. Allegations of involvement by Okwama militants have been made, but the community strongly denies them. Facing a difficult situation, residents are desperate for answers.
Since on the 14th to date, when the people flee into the forest, there's a big suffering upon my people. There's no food to eat, no water to drink, nowhere to sleep. That is the reason why, if you check some of the paper that already, we sent to our senator and the House of Rep, the people that died in Okwama is listed there. In the forest, we lost about 15 persons in the forest because of some of them mosquito bite, snake bite, lack of no food to eat. The children, most of the children, through fever, different sickness.
I watch this shirt because nothing day. We dey inside bush, nothing to shop. Food not there. Children, they sick. We serve they sick. Our children, they suffer for hungry. Inside bush we there, we not see anything. We dey fall at this maggot tree. Now we they bring maggot with the shop. So that was not the belly for us. So our people now, many of them died throw away. Men and women, children, they never see some. Some see they say, but what they vote themselves will not know self. So we see they find that today we never see them.
Reprisal attack is not accepted. If this issue was done, what we expected was an investigation into this issue. Find the culprit, bring them to book, and let them face the law.
In the aftermath, the military's response to the killings in Okwama raised concerns about excessive force. These events have sparked national outrage.
We have filed 2 suits on our side challenging the action of the military in Okwama. We are also telling the court to interpret to us if there is a law in Nigeria which states that when a soldier is killed, then the answer, the thing the government ought to do is to go and destroy the community. The matter is lying before the Federal High Court Warri, and on the 4th of June, we are going to hear from the court.
I'm asking the governor of Delta State, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to see this child that I'm carrying as an example of the suffering in this land and will come there to their aid. This is a humanitarian situation, and we need everybody to come round.
News Central's town hall meeting brought together stakeholders to address the root causes of the conflict. News Central will continue to amplify the voices of Okwama community and advocate urgent humanitarian assistance.
Nigeria's Senate says it will investigate the circumstances surrounding the recent oil pipeline explosion in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa state capital, South Nigeria. The incident was raised on the floor of the Senate by a member of parliament, Benson Kombowe, who says that many residents living within the vicinity of the explosion have been affected. News Center's Emmanuel Bagudu reports.
Has once again come under the spotlight. This time at the Senate, following the resumption of plenary, where the recent pipeline explosion, which affected some communities and caused a massive fire, was discussed by the lawmakers.
Alarmed that there were huge explosions from a crude oil pipeline on Tuesday, the 14th of May, resulting in an inferno in the vicinity of the gas facility, and this constituted a threat to the safety of the facility.
Some members of parliament called for urgent measures to be put in place to prevent recurrence and provide for those who were affected by the explosion.
We'll have to, maybe the committees, relevant committees, will have to conduct an inquiry, not the executive, because we don't believe that the executive understands the challenges that our people have been suffering all these years. But maybe if the joint committees look into the matter, we can have a report to look at and then interface with NMPC, now whatever it is called, and then the operators and the regulatory bodies to see what steps can be taken to determine the adequacy of the measures that have been taken.
To our people that are living around there, I will also emphasize that there is need for an urgent step to be taken, especially the evacuation of our people that are living there.
The President of the Senate described the situation as a worrisome event, saying the subsequent pollution to the environment is a cause for concern.
Because it is from there that the gas is processed and sent to the Bonny terminal for export, to a very big source of foreign exchange earnings for our country. Because the people have no place to run to. Otherwise, they go into the Atlantic Ocean.
The Senate called on relevant federal agencies to quickly provide aid to the affected victims. In Abuja for News Central, I am Emmanuel Bagudu.
Organized labor on Wednesday reduced its demand for an improved new minimum wage from an initial 615,000 to 500,000 naira after an agreement could not be reached at the tripartite committee meeting on Tuesday. Deputy President of the Nigeria Labour Congress Political Commission, Professor Theophilus Ndubuako, disclosed this on Wednesday. Ndubuako said that the Labour team was compelled to reduce its demand to ensure the federal government meets up with the arrangement. He, however, expressed concern that despite their shifting ground, the federal government is stalling the negotiation process. Organized Labour on Wednesday reduced its demand for an improved new minimum wage from the initial 615,000 naira to 500,000 naira after an agreement could not be reached at the tripartite committee meeting on Tuesday. The Deputy President of the Nigeria Labour Congress Political Commission, Professor Theophilus Ndubuako, made this known on Wednesday. Coming up, INEC kicks against coronation of candidates via electoral process. More when we return. Do stay with us. If you've just joined us, you're watching Tonight. A reminder of our top stories. DSS, police, others take over Cross River State Assembly after Speaker Ayambem's impeachment. Abba Kyari gets bail after 27 months in detention. Court grants Shaibu's request to join Edo Speaker, new Deputy Governor in impeachment suit. Guinea prosecutors demand life imprisonment for ex-dictator Muazzar Dadis. Chairman of the Nigeria Electoral Body has tasked the Forum of States Independent Electoral Commissions to take the lead role in the conduct of local government elections in the country. The chairman made this known during a visit by the forum to the INEC headquarters in Abuja, saying that they must ensure that the era of coronation of candidates, irrespective of the outcome of the elections in their state, must end. News Center's Joshua Imarai has the details.
It was a visit by the Forum of State Independent Electoral Commissions of Nigeria to the INEC headquarters in the nation's capital, Abuja. The chairman of the INEC, while addressing the delegation, urged the State Independent National Electoral Commissions to ensure local government elections are properly supervised in their state, as state electoral commissions are a creation of the Constitution. He asked the state's electoral commissioners to end the alleged coronation of candidates by their governors, saying they must ensure that the electoral process in their domains are free and fair.
Unfortunately, the conduct of local government elections in virtually all the states of the Federation has become mere coronation of candidates of the ruling parties. It is time to stop the coronation and conduct proper elections. State governors should allow the state independent electoral commissions to have greater capacity for independent action. Many of the state electoral commissions have no functional offices in the local government areas in their states and cannot recruit their own permanent staff. In some states, the state electoral commissions are either not properly constituted, have no security of tenure, or their critical functions have been taken over by government officials.
The forum also urged the Commission to revisit and review the Memorandum of Understanding between the two electoral bodies and to reconstitute a joint committee as mandated by the memorandum.
The forum and INEC have a long-standing MOU which has propelled our relationship. However, it is our ardent belief that the MOU needs urgent review. We request that the committee be reconstituted to give it more impetus and new direction towards achieving the core objectives of conducting free, fair, and credible elections at all levels. There is the dire need to develop a new strategic work plan for support to CX.
The Independent National Electoral Commission is insisting that it is the duty of state electoral commissions to conduct local government elections. INEC says that the successful conduct of local government elections is crucial to the growth of Nigeria's democracy. In Abuja for News Central, I am Joshua Imarayi.
United Nations Population Fund has restated its commitment in ensuring that victims of gender-based violence are quickly attended to in the face of violent attacks in Plateau State. This was made known in Jos, the capital, during a 10-day capacity building for nurses and midwives. Our correspondent, Chizoba Anyowi, was there for News Central and now completes the report.
The effect of gender-based violence among victims in Plateau State cannot be overemphasized. This is owing to the recurrent crises that have rocked some council areas in the state over the past 20 years, leaving several victims at the mercy of fate. The partnership between the United Nations Population Fund and the Red Cross is to tackle the dire need which victims find themselves in.
For Jos, because of the communal crisis, precisely in Bokos Mangu and Barkin Ladi. So majority of the IDPs there are facing GBV cases and they are in need of SRH services. So we take it upon ourselves because one of the mandates of UNFPA is to respond to GBV cases and also provide sexual and reproductive services.
Red Cross will go around to see, particularly for those that have been trained. They are selected from those 3 local governments, like you said. And we ensure that, yes, we follow up to see that those, whatever they've learned here, they've also implemented it at their own local level too. So monitoring is very key. That's what Red Cross will do in conjunction with the UNFPA.
While interventions are commended, government's effort remains necessary in ensuring the health sector is improved upon.
Across the PSCs, there's massive renovation going on. The governor is committed in paying the counterpart funding to all the NGOs, and that is why we're having this. We are ready to change the entire health sector on the plateau.
The impact of this training is of great importance to these health workers for the benefit of humanity.
Once we are plenty in the field with this type of knowledge in our minds, we are quite sure that our women will be saved. Our children will be saved, and we will reduce the death of our women once they are pregnant and the children also.
So this training is going to help us how to manage the victims, how to manage the crisis victim and those that have been displaced. Because if they are not managed properly, definitely they are going to be affected.
Strengthening the health system to respond to basic reproductive, maternal and child health during emergencies is the theme for the 10-day program, with participants expected to maximize the capacity development workshop. In Jos for News Central, Chizoba Anyowi.
In a significant move to bolster Nigeria's capital markets and contribute to the country's economic development, the UK government has reaffirmed its commitment to support Nigeria through demobilizing institutional capital like the Listed Product Structures Program, a key instrument to unlocking Nigeria's financial potential. Lekon Nobanjo tells us more in this report.
According to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, Africa requires an additional $194 billion annually to meet the Sustainable Development Goals by the year 2030, particularly in unlocking the Nigerian economy. Bridging this gap necessitates mobilizing private investment on a large scale and fostering enhanced collaboration among capital market stakeholders.
This support is part of a much wider range of support that the UK government gives to Nigeria. That range of support includes activities in health and education, which are direct support to the SDGs. We have a wide range of instruments and activities that support economic development in Nigeria. The purpose of this one is to encourage more investment in the capital markets, which puts more money into the system, and that money can then be used in ways that support the SDGs and supports development that's climate friendly.
To this cause, the Mobilist Programme, an initiative of the UK government, is being extended to form a strong foundation for collaboration within the country's financial sectors by enabling large-scale private capital mobilization.
The UK government and Mobilist sees great opportunity in Nigeria. Nigeria is a large and important market in Africa with a high degree of sophistication in its capital markets and an excellent platform in the NGX as a public listed market. What Mobilist wants to support, in as far as it can, is more activity on public markets and by extension in the capital markets of Nigeria, which will lead to more economic development and better quality of life and standards of living for people in Nigeria. We see great promise in several sectors, in the tech space, potentially in the transport arena, and in the energy transition space as well. We see great opportunity in Nigeria.
Ensuring sufficient investment for sustainable projects remain critical areas for Mobilist and the NGX.
The president has been very bullish about trying to grow the Nigerian economy to a $1 trillion economy in the next few years. We in the capital market and NGX actually believe that that is possible, and with this MOU and the activities that has happened today, we feel that it provides the enabling environments and market confidence to attract the much needed foreign capital into the market.
As discussions center around exploring opportunities to overcoming investment barriers, the Mobilist Programme is regarded as a critical support tool in providing equity investment, technical assistance and policy advocacy to address development and climate challenges in Nigeria. In Lagos for News Central, Lekon Onobanjo.
Thank you, Lekon. Still ahead, prosecutors demand life imprisonment for ex-Guinea dictator. We have details after the break. Join us again. Guinean prosecutors in a landmark trial over a 2009 massacre demanded on Wednesday that the former dictator Moassa Dadis Camara and several other officials at the time be handed life sentences. The chief prosecutor, Algashimu Diallo, asked that the sentence be accompanied by a 30-year non-parole period and that the charges be reclassified as crimes against humanity by murder, assassination, torture, holding people against their will, and rape. On the day of the killings on September 28, 2009, security forces tried to stop the rally going ahead and allegedly blocked off the exits to a stadium in the capital Conakry before opening fire. Some protesters were shot dead or attacked with knives, while others were trampled on. Let's now go over to our business desk for today's business stories.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Talking business tonight, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Dr. Olayemi Cardoso, on Tuesday highlighted the licensing of 14 new international money transfer operators which is expected to enhance competition and boost remittances through formal channels. This announcement was made during a press briefing following the conclusion of the Monetary Policy Committee meeting. The central bank recently granted approvals in principle to 14 new IMTOs to support the sustained supply of foreign exchange in the official market. Dr. Cardoso emphasized the significance of engaging with IMTOs to address their challenges, particularly related to transaction costs and commissions. The goal is to double the remittance flow within the year, and the central bank aims to achieve this through increased competition and reduced transaction costs. Moving on now, organized labor in Ghana is seeking a meeting with President Nana Akufo-Addo to discuss concerns regarding the operations of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust. Labor groups are dissatisfied with recent reports on SSNIT's activities, fearing that the trust may face difficulties in fulfilling pension payments for workers in the future. Of particular concern is the sale of the SSNIT's shares in hotels to Rock City Limited, a company managed by the current Minister for Agriculture and Aquaculture, Dr. Brian Achepong. Organized labor aims to convey their frustrations and fears to the president, urging immediate policy changes. Dr. Yor Ba, the Secretary General of the TUC, stressed the importance of the president's engagement to collaborate with relevant stakeholders in addressing these critical issues. Now, the Coca-Cola Beverages Africa has expressed its plan to increase its investment in Kenya by up to $175 million over the next 5 years. This commitment is contingent upon the company's achievement and its plan of achieving projected growth targets in the country. During a meeting with Kenyan President William Ruto at the Coca-Cola's headquarters in Atlanta, CEO of Coca-Cola Beverages Africa, Sunil Gupta, highlighted the company's intention to strengthen its long-standing presence in Kenya through this substantial investment. The aim is to accelerate capacity and capability expansion within the Coca-Cola system in Kenya. Luisa Ortega, president of the Coca-Cola Company's Africa Operating Unit, emphasized the importance of collaboration with the government to foster a stable policy environment. And that's a wrap on Business Stories. But stay with us, we still have more on the news. I am Lekon Onobanjo.
Business News in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Up next is sports.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
Organizers of Nigeria's second-tier football, the Nigeria National League, have banned teams from streaming matches in the forthcoming Super 8 playoff. 8 teams will compete for the division title at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium in Enugu, including Ikorodu City, Inter Lagos, Madiba FC, Beyond Limits FC, Sokoto United, Nasarawa United, Sporting Supreme, and El Kanami Warriors. The top 4 teams will earn promotion to the Nigeria Premier Football League next season. In a letter addressed to the clubs and signed by Ayo Abdulrahman, Chief Operating Officer of the league, the NNL revealed it had entered into a partnership with a media outfit to stream the matches. Budapest Puskás Arena will play host to the 2026 Champions League final, UEFA confirmed, on Wednesday. A decision on the 2027 final was postponed until September, with Milan set to host as long as the San Siro is not undergoing redevelopment works at that time. It is the first time Hungary will host a final of Europe's elite club competition. However, the 67,000 capacity Puskás Arena was used for the 2023 Europa League final and matches at Euro 2020. The Europa League final will be held in Istanbul in 2026 and Frankfurt in 2027. Leipzig will host the UEFA Conference League showpiece in 2026, with Istanbul's Beşiktaş Stadium hosting in 2027. The Women's 2026 Champions League final will take place in Oslo's Ullevål Stadion. Pochettino finds himself facing an uncomfortable reunion with the Stamford Bridge faithful after his recent exit from the club, which was labelled as a mutual agreement. Pochettino is slated to make a swift return to the Chelsea grounds as he is scheduled to manage the World 11 team at Soccer Aid to be held at Stamford Bridge on Sunday, June 9th. With a significant contingent of Chelsea fans expected to attend, drawn by the prospect of witnessing former stars like Eden Hazard and Frank Lampard, Pochettino faces an awkward experience with Blues fans who still have a bone to pick with him. Olympic champion Ellen Thompson-Herah will face off with world champion Sha'Carri Richardson in the 100 meters at the Prefontaine Classic, the Eugene Diamond League, this weekend. Thompson-Herah is a late inclusion in the event and adds spice to the 100 meters, which will now see increased interest as she clashes with Richardson, who will be running on home soil. The 100 meters lineup will also have world 60 meters indoor champion Julian Alfred, as well as Africa's fastest woman, Marie-Josée Talu-Smith, but focus will undoubtedly be on the two superstars. It will be the first race of the season for Thompson-Herah, who is bidding to defend her Olympic title, and the race will give her a taste of what to expect in Paris, where Richardson is among the rivals she will face. 16-year-old English amateur Chris Kim will make his debut on Europe's DP World Tour at the British Masters in August. Surrey-based Kim, the son of South Korean former LPGA player Soo Ji-hyun, became the youngest player to make the cut on the PGA Tour since 2015 at the CJ Cup Byron Nelson in Texas earlier this month. The teenager had 5 birdies and an eagle in a 3-under par opening 68 in McKinney before finishing 65th overall. The British Masters will be hosted by 6-time major winner Sir Nick Faldo at the Belfry from 29th of August to the 1st of September. And that's all on sports tonight. I am Okpeoluwa Adibari.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile. Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
In entertainment, the federal government has hinted at green-lighting new regulations to crack down on money rituals and the glorification of vices in Nigerian films. The move comes after the executive director and CEO of the National Film and Video Censors Board, Shahibu Hussaini, revealed the decision at a recent gathering in Enugu. Hussaini emphasized the urgency of addressing these issues, citing the need for bold action from all stakeholders. The regulation approved by the Minister of Arts, Culture and the Creative Economy, Hannatu Musawa, target not only money rituals and the ritual killings, but also the promotion of tobacco use and the glamorization of crimes in movies, music videos, and skits. The NFVCB plans extensive awareness campaigns to highlight the dangers of depicting smoking in films, particularly its negative impact on young audiences. Now, the board aims to collaborate with industry professionals to create content that discourages smoking and promotes positive health messages. And now, away from the continent, Lauryn Hill's The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill claims top spot on Apple Music's 100 Best Albums list. Ebro Darden surprises Hill with the news at a New York dinner. Hill dedicated the award to her mother. The album beats out iconic records like Michael Jackson's Thriller and The Beatles' Abbey Road. Other hip-hop and R&B stars, including Kendrick Lamar and Beyoncé, also feature on the list. The album, inspired by Hill's pregnancy and Fuji's turmoil, debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. It won multiple Grammys, including Album of the Year. Now, big congratulations to Lauryn Hill. Big congratulations on that win. And that's how we'll wrap up entertainment news tonight. We'll go on a short break and return with the latest on what's trending tonight.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
Nollywood films take center stage in today's trending stories. Earlier, we told you that the federal government has made known its intentions to regulate Nollywood content aiming at cracking down on money rituals and the glorification of vices in Nigerian films. However, what we didn't tell you are how Nigerians reacted to this story on X. Let's take a look at some of those reactions now on X. Sorry is saying the movie industry has affected Nigeria negatively for decades. Now is the time to build a new image for Nigeria. We have another tweet from Annie Brain saying, misplaced priority. Nigerians are facing hardship, hunger, poverty, insecurity, bad leadership, poor electricity, high cost of fuel, high cost of living, etc. And all that matters to the federal government is Nollywood money rituals. I keep saying this as a nation, we're not ready for growth. Then we have another very sarcastic tweet from Ugochukwu saying, nice move by the government. This will cause our currency to increase in value and solve our inflation problem. It would also solve the security problems bedeviling the nation and improve the Naira. Kudos to Tinubu and his economic team. Jagaban is working. And then we have our last tweet here saying, most people won't understand the importance of this. It is a good move. It is important to make sure money rituals and other vices always end up very badly in all movies. Let us know if you share with this comments on X. Share your thoughts across our social media platforms. Join the conversation at News Central TV. I'm Jadel Simon.
And that's how we wrap it tonight, but not before we take another look at some of the major stories. DSS police orders take over Cross River State House of Assembly after Speaker Ayambem's impeachment. Abba Kyari gets bail after 27 months in detention. Court grants Tribal's request to join Edo Speaker, new Deputy Governor in impeachment suit. We also brought you news that Guinean prosecutors demand life imprisonment for ex-dictator Muassa Dadis. Would like to hear from you. Please send your eyewitness report to the number showing now on your screen. You can follow us on social media. That's at News Central TV. You can watch live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and on YouTube. Many thanks as always for your time. Good night.